Hello and welcome back. We are now going to place what's called the tone coat on the wall. I got the wall completely taped up and now it's time for the tone coat. The container says tone coat. It's probably backwards to you, but it says tone coat. And it's kind of a gray color, even though it says white on top. That's because it goes with the white shiplap, I'm assuming. And it definitely, it had some little clips on it. I opened it with a screwdriver and the little clips flew everywhere, so they ship it to you in a safe manner. And it was it definitely needed stirring. It was thicker on the bottom and like a white liquidy toward the top, but it was very easy to stir with the stir stick they sent with it. And now it's like very thick melted ice cream. And looking through the instructions, what it says that we need to do is to cut in around all the edges and then go back and roll. Then it says to put the thing on your roller and to let it soak for at least a minute in the paint. So I thought it would make a whole lot more sense to start that soaking before we start cutting in. So that's what I'm going to do. And it also says to make sure and rinse your brush that they provide afterward, because you'll be using it again. So I've got this cup they provided for mixing the last part in, and I'm just going to stick my brush in there when I'm done with it. But the first thing I'm going to do right now, and it also says that, here that it's like 104 square feet, and I only have like 30 something square feet. So I'm only going to use about a third of this on here, so I want to keep that in mind. And this is just an old one of these pans that I had from another project. So I'm just going to pour about a third out of this can into there. So I can put more in there if I need to in a minute. And I've got a paper towel sitting here that I'm putting this on so I don't get paint on the countertop. So I'm going to go ahead and put I'm going to roll it around to get some all around. I don't know why that never ever wants to roll how you want it to. And that, not this stuff, but anytime, I guess the roller gets heavy on one side and that's just the way it works. So now we'll paint out of this container, can. So it's like I said, it's like a thick melted milkshake at this point. And I guess I could unhook the cable for the Wi-Fi. And here we go. I did come back, and I wish I wouldn't have put that already. This is my husband. This is where he thinks so much smarter than me to double check that my tape was straight there. He just came from underneath the cabinet like that with a piece of paper. Literally don't know at what point I lost you. I've got my phone on Do Not Disturb now, so it won't happen again. But anyway, what I was saying last, and I don't know if you heard or not, is that I'm thrilled that this comes in a kit and that they send you everything you need, because I've seen people trying to go, save $10 and buy the stuff individually and then not liking it and having to re-prime it and this, that, and the other and start over and have it not last. And I'm not into all that. I do not like to repeat my work. I like to get something done and finish it, and for under $100 and them having a kit and their reputation staked on it, I'm going to go for the kit, and I did. So here we go. See if I missed anywhere. Now we're going to go behind where the stove was at. It can't, I don't think I can get tall enough for you to see the very top of that. Let me see. Nope, that's not going to work. Anyway, it goes up underneath this area right here. How far up can you see? About right here. A little farther up, there's a the underneath the fan and all that that goes to the range hood, and I taped around that, and I'm just going to cut in here, and I'll probably cut all the way around that just to make it easier on me because the roller's not going to fit in there easily. And my stove just plugged in right here behind here, so I just slid it out. I could unplug the plug and move it on out of the way, but it's not really in my way, so I'm fine with it. But I definitely wanted to move it because it comes up about this far, and I wanted to make sure and get this area here in case I get a new stove. Scared to ask for one at this point. I've had that one, I think my Facebook memory on that was a year, but like I said, I'm not happy with it, so eventually a new stove will come. You see right here where I'm at now. Gonna get around this electrical outlet. I'm not sure if that looks like enough room for the roller, so I'm just gonna go with that. Looking all over. Is there any place I missed that I should have hit? You just go over this again just to get, no sense in wasting the paint that's on this brush, right? I'm going to put it in the water to soak and grab the roller, and we'll just, since we're over here, we'll go from this side back. Doesn't hurt to go to the wet end of the wet. I'm sorry that I have it on do not disturb at this point, but it's still a lot of phone calls today. I put some furniture that I painted on sale, and it's going like hotcakes. So what I watched the video on this, but he was doing full walls, so he made a couple of vertical stroke, runs beside each other, which we're going to go ahead and do right here. And I would have got it all over the cabinet there if I didn't have that taped. And we're going to come down. And then this is the important part. At the end of that, it just goes back over with one long swoop to make sure that, any stop and start marks are minimized there. So I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to turn it around to give me a little bit of a better protection on that side. But they have really good videos on their website about this stuff too. And I'm turning that around there because I wouldn't be able to get as close because of this handle. Let me up in there, stove. I really love that double tape idea, because I'm just going over as far as I can over to the edge without having any issues whatsoever, because it's going to the tape. And out of all my years of painting stuff, I don't know why I've never thought of that. Maybe a blonde moment. As of right now, I don't know if y'all can see this, but I can see this, where the paint was pulled off a little bit off of the wall and I sanded over it. I didn't get it all the way flush, and it is still showing through at this point. But because this is going to look like shiplap and going to look like boards later, those will be marks in the boards that'll look good. If you were going, they have a kit for tile, like subway tile. If you were going for the kit with a subway tile, I would probably have filled that in. Unless you were going for a distressed tile a little bit. I did not tape the underneath area of the cabinets there, so I'm not rolling all the way up to that, but it is cut in all the way up to that. Okay, straight down, down, just cleaning up those lines. See, we're going back and forth while we're going through here, and then give it a once over. That's the whole point I'm trying to do with that. To get some of that, those back and forth roller marks off. So love having that tape buffer so that I can come on down without worrying about it. I'm going to go as far as I can now on into this corner, as far as I can comfortably go. Not sure how much of that you can see from there. Gonna reload and come out of that corner. And I'll have to look in just a minute. I'm not sure if it takes one coat or two of this. I'm thinking that it's one, but I have to look back over it and see. I know it's 2 coats of the next part. And this, I know this has to dry for an hour before we start the next part. Those are the 2 things that I have memorized. try to go one more spike in this corner. There we go. I'm just going back over those areas just a little bit where they should have been sanded better. Self-inflicted wound. Lesson learned. Don't listen to husband on projects that have your name on them. Okay, there's still, I'm going to scrape this back out of here. I know light is driving me crazy. I'm going to see if I can turn it down a little bit. There's still a decent amount in here, and I'm going to pour that back in the container. Probably scrape this out. Well, let me look real quick. Let's look and see what's next if we're supposed to do 2 coats. Using vertical strokes, roll it in sections. We did that. Finish the entire length 2 feet wide, floor to ceiling. If you do an extender pole, if you're doing all the way up to the ceiling, it should be a fairly uniform color on the wall. Only 1 coat is needed. However, 2 coats may be necessary to cover dark colored walls. Dispose of the roller cover when the tone coat is complete. So we have plenty here for me to put another coat if I decide to. These were light colored walls. I'm going to pour this back in my can so that I don't waste it. And so it took less than 1/3 to do this portion. And then I will probably just go back over the areas that I'm trying to hide the paint stuff from the old texture with this again, because why not? It's on my roller. And then I'll throw this roller away. Thanks. See you soon.